Hello, I'm Matt Guff from House.com, and this is a snowboard that I would definitely slay every day if I could. This is the 2019 Nitro Pantera. This is like the top level, aggressive, powerful carving board from Nitro. The Pantera is for those high level, intermediate to advanced level riders that like carving as fast as they can go and ripping in deep snow when they can. This is a dope board. It's actually, for the size, this is a big board. For the size, it's extremely lightweight, which is remarkable. I think this is the 63, and it feels like I'm holding like a 55. Now, the Pantera has kind of both mid-wide and wide sizes. So for big guys out there, this is a really good board because you won't get any toe and heel drag. It's a directional shaped board. As you see, the nose is much longer than the tail. Outside of the contact point, the nose is longer and of course taller, and the tail is shorter and not as high. It does have a taper to it too. The nose is just slightly wider than the tail. So when you do get into some deep snow, the tail is gonna sink, the nose is gonna float quite a bit better. This is a big board and it's extremely aggressive. The stance is set back about 25 millimeters, and it does feature a true camber profile shape, which is kind of wild because a lot of power boards or backcountry boards tend to have flat or kind of like rocker style shapes. This is a true camber board from tip to tail. This thing has a nice big arc to it, and that's what really helps you to grip on firm snow. It's very stable at high speeds, extremely stable at high speeds, and with that comes a progressive side cut radius, which is just mind-blowing. A progressive side cut radius means that this Pantera has a larger side cut radius on the nose and a smaller one on the tail, and what that does is, while you're carving, it allows your board to get kind of into a nice smooth, big arcing carve, and then aggressively kind of cut out of that carve with a smaller side cut radius on the tail. It's actually one of my favorite side cut radiuses that snowboarding has. And then a unique thing happens. If you happen to ride this thing switch, it's gonna dive into the turn really fast and then gradually let it go, which is pretty fun. There's a power light wood core. That's one of the things that makes it extremely lightweight. That has a reflex core profiling. It's actually a little bit thinner, I believe, in between the feet. But then there's the triax fiberglass on top and on bottom of this board. It runs at 0, at 45, and negative 45 degrees, or 90, negative 45, and 45 degrees. The triax glass makes this board, pretty proportionally rigid, but still, it's, it holds on to it, but it's still manageable. If you're a really strong rider, if you're a rider who knows how to make a board what you want it to do, you're gonna have a really fun time with this. But if you're a rider who's just kind of learning how to carve, and you're not gonna have fun on this. And this is definitely not a board, of course, that you would take into the park. You could, but it's not a park board by any means. A lot of people on the channel are like, say what's not good at. Well, yeah, it's not going to be good in the park, duh. And then lastly is going to be a little bit of carbon, basically tip to tail carbon, that gives this board a lot of strength. There's a centered speed style base. This is Nitro's fastest style base, but you need to keep it maintained throughout the season. Keep it waxed up. Wax it every 4 to 5 times that you go ride. This is a rad board. It's called the Pantera. Again, it's a directional tapered style board that's extremely aggressive. The feel and flex of this thing's about a 9. It takes a lot to actually bend this into a shape to get this thing to carve. This camber is loads of energy. Make sure to check this thing out at the house. Check it out by selecting the link below in the description. Leave a comment or question. Let me know what you think of it. Subscribe to the channel there, and check out more vids there. And hopefully I'll see you on snow. Peace.